So, Danielle, over the weekend, a little thing happened in New Jersey, and the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, was arrested and charged with trespassing outside of an ICE detention center. The government claims that Baraka ignored warnings to leave while he was there. Video says otherwise. Basically, these detention facilities, these ICE detention facilities are subject to oversight. They're subject to congressional oversight. And there was a delegation of Congress people who were there to check out the facility, speak to the detainees, etc. And Mayor Baraka was accompanying them. And the idea uh, that he was trespassing is, of course, absolute nonsense. This is a federal facility. His party and the congressman have every right to enter it to conduct an inspection. We've seen a bunch of arrests over the past several weeks, arrests, detentions, kidnappings, the whole schmear, as my people like to say. We've seen a bunch of these arrests over the weekend for things. There was a judge in Wisconsin who refused to let ICE agents in before she let someone out of the courtroom who the ICE agents were apparently after, which she was well within her legal rights to do, but they arrested her. We've seen videos of people being arrested on the streets. We saw this just in Worcester, Massachusetts, at the end of last week and over the weekend. And this is just of a piece with that. It's a way to make people scared. It's
Mhm.
a way to make people think, well, if they can arrest a mayor, if they can arrest a judge,
Mhm.
what chance do I have? I better keep my head down
Yep.
and keep my mouth shut. And this is exactly the response that they want, which is why it's important for it to not be the response they get. Thankfully, Mayor Baraka was released eventually. We are in, like, I feel like we're entering sort of a post-constitutional order where
Mhm.
it just doesn't matter what the Constitution says.
Yeah, and it's so important. All of the things that you just listed off, all of the people that we have watched, whether they be green card holders, whether they be undocumented, whether they be judges, whether they be mayors in highly, political appointments, that no one is safe. And that is the point of autocracy and fascism, is to ensure that we never feel safe, right? That you don't feel stable, that you're willing to snitch on your neighbors and your friends and your colleagues so that you can maintain some modicum of normalcy, right? And that you can protect yourself. But I will remind folks in this moment of what Orger Lord said, which is like, your silence will not protect you. There is no protection inside of a fascistic regime. There is no protection to be had. And the only way that you move forward is together, right? Is understanding that the only thing, the one of the greatest weapons to be utilized against autocracy is community, and the building of shared values and shared trusts that they are trying to decimate. When I saw the arrest over the weekend of the mayor of Newark, a part of me, I want to say, oh my God, I was stunned, right? Because again, I think that it is important for us to maintain our ability to be outraged and to be stunned.
Yeah.
But this is all part and parcel of the course, right? That you need to pick people off. You need to silence, right, dissent. You need to let people know that they have absolutely no power, right? And that's how you continue to take over. And so this ties into, right, the fact that Donald Trump is blatantly grifting in front of our faces saying, who's going to check me? And he's also picking up, right, officers of our democracy and saying, again, who's going to check me? Whether you're a judge or a mayor or a sitting member of Congress or a governor, I can come for you because I alone am the law. And the Supreme Court gave me the power to do whatever it is that I want. And I just want to say that, in the myriad, the flurry of executive orders that Donald Trump has released over the last, 3+ months now, included in there was an executive order to further militarize America's police. And why do you think that that is happening? Right? And kind of floating under the radar. It is because they are preparing for the final stage of their takeover, right? And so I just, when I see this, Andy, and I see, I hear what you're saying in terms of, oh, well, Democrats are going to release a resolution. I don't give a fuck about their resolution, right? Because what is that actually going to do? We need radical action, right? In a time when there is a radical takeover underway. That following the rules and crossing the T's and dotting the I's and saying, oh, let the record show when they're burning down the building
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me and doesn't feel like a response worthy of the actions that are being taken.
No, agreed. And look, I will point out that the Department of Homeland Security now says that it is possible they will arrest the three Congress people who were there, all of whom are New Jersey Democrats. Bonnie Watson Coleman, LaMonica McIver, and Rob Menendez, not to be confused with Bob Menendez. They have said that that they may arrest them for assault, which, if you watch the video, they were not assaulting anyone. If anything, they were being assaulted by the ICE agents. My point is, this is Democrats at least actually getting out there and doing something, going to this detention facility to
Yes,
see what's
yes.
going on there, and putting their bodies on the line. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, this in the current world that we live in with this administration, doing things like what these three Democrats did is putting your body on the line. And this is borne out by the fact that Mayor Baraka was arrested, and the fact that DHS is now saying they may arrest the Democratic lawmakers for conducting or trying to conduct an inspection, as is their congressional
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
under the law. So it's just, like I said, we seem to be in this period where, the Constitution is taken a little like a siesta, like a little afternoon nap while Trump is president. And they seem to think that it doesn't apply to them, and they can do whatever they want, and they can arrest whomever they want, and they can kidnap whoever they want, and they can exile whoever they want. And at some point, like you said, it's going to take more than, strongly worded letters, the Chuck Schumer specials to combat this. And so when I said earlier that I was happy to see at least some Democrats talk about how the taking the plane from Qatar was unconstitutional, I agree that a lot more needs to be done. And I think it was on Blue Sky over the weekend, or I said the Democratic Party should change its name to the bare minimums. It should be the bare minimum party, because that's what I'm getting used to seeing. But it's very nice. Again, I don't want these three representatives to be
No, not to be
arrested.
lumped in with them. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
and I don't want to see them arrested, but it's nice to see them out there, again, actually putting their bodies on the line, putting, their money where their mouth is, and not just sitting in their office and saying, uh, this must stop. Shame on you. Again, the Chuck Schumer special, as I'm now just calling it. So good for these three Democrats, and we need a lot more of that. We need a lot more Democrats doing that. Um, and because it's not going to stop unless we fight back.
100%. So bravo to them, to the Democrats that are taking actual action, but we need collective action,
Yep.
right? How many Democrats do we have in the House of Representatives? How many are in the Senate? How many Democratic governors are there, et cetera? So like this needs to be mass action and not just individuals taking up different moments of critical response while everyone else sits on their fucking hands. So,
Yep.
that's what I will say here, but shout out to Jersey, which doesn't often come from a New Yorker. So, well
And
done.
look, shout out to Mayor Baraka, and who, by the way, I did not realize was the son of Amiri Baraka. But shout out to him. And on top of that, more Democrats need to take note. I don't think most people knew the name of nationwide, of the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. I bet a lot more do now.
Yep.
And Democrats need to learn from that. Democrats need to learn from, you know, look, when Cory Booker did his 25-hour speech or whatever it was, he got national attention. When Van Hollen went to El Salvador, he got national attention. And these are the kinds of things that happen to be the right thing to do, but also get you noticed and get you elevated. And for politicians where they're really, they're all about that life, take notice, man, and go and do likewise.
100%.